missing someone.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mags. Happy weekend and happy Saturday. Welcome back to another weekend vlog. So this weekend is a bit of a reset or getting back on track kind of vlog, just because I have had a really crazy month. In April, so the first weekend was my birthday weekend, and then I think we went into 2 short weeks. So we had Easter long weekend, which was like 4 days. Then I had that entire week off straight after because we went into Anzac Day long weekend. And then last weekend I was in Melbourne. So basically just had like 4 really crazy weekends, a little bit indulgent, but very fun, really great time. So I don't regret it, but I just do feel a little bit off, a little bit, I don't know, just a bit out of my normal routine. So really want to just sort of reset a little bit, and just get back on track with, you know, my eating, my diet. So starting with going to the gym this morning, and then going to get groceries, have to clean the house, and then a lot of house, and then just a bit of like life admin and things like that. So wanted to take you on the journey. Hope you feel inspired, and of course just remember that, you know, those kinds of weekends and those kinds of months are really important as well. Like I caught up with a lot of friends, ate a lot of amazing food, ate a lot of Easter eggs, a lot of chocolate. But yeah, I think it's just time to focus, time to get a lot of the stuff that I've been putting off finally done. So yeah, let's get into it. Just finished up at the gym. Pretty stoked because I managed to get my 90 kilo deadlift twice. I had tried that particular weight about 2 weeks ago, and I tried twice and I couldn't get it, so I'm pretty stoked to be able to get it today. I think it might have been the new lifting belt. That was the first time I've ever used a lifting belt before. So either it was the help of the belt, or the belt like mentally helped me, because sometimes I think it's very much about like your mental agility, or like just something in your mind tells you that it's going to happen or it's going to work this time, and the belt is going to help you. So that might have been it. And I also bought like they're called like lifting straps, and I thought that it would create some torque or some like kind of help with the grip, but I couldn't even lift like 60 kilos using those. It was so slippery. So if any of you have any tips on using those, that would be very helpful, because I do find like I struggle with my grip a little bit, and that is really hard with that. So then I did like a little ab workout, and then a little hip workout, and then a sauna, which feels amazing after workout. It's so good. And now we are off to get some groceries. Finally back from the gym and from the grocery store. Took Milan out for a quick walk, and I thought I'd do a little grocery haul. So stopped by Birchroot Bakery, which is a really nice bakery. Also got a coffee, which was really delish. They do really good sourdough. And it's really funny because this is called a personal sourdough. It's basically like a little mini sourdough loaf for people, you know, like me, who live by themselves, who probably can't get through like a full loaf by themselves. This is my favorite muesli. It's like $2 from Woolies. You can get a similar one from Coles as well, but it's just like so good. It's got like a little bit of fruit in it. But yeah, it's so cheap, and I make bircher or overnight oats with it as well sometimes, but lately I've just been having it with a bit of coconut yogurt and some fruit. So yeah, that's my fave. Got some ham and some chicken. This is not for me, I don't eat meat, but this is for Milan, so this is for his meals, and this is for his like enrichment slow feeding toys, and he just loves that, so that's for him. Coconut milk. I'm going to be making this really yummy pasta dish tonight. Again, I try and avoid dairy. I don't eat dairy based products generally, So yeah, that is for the pasta dish tonight. Oh, yeah, got some leafy mix. So this week for lunch, so I'm going to do some meal prep tomorrow. I'm going to make like a vegetable pot pie, and I'm going to serve that. I'm going to have that every day for lunch with a side salad. So for the salad, I've got the leafy mix, and then I've got tomatoes and cucumbers. I've got a pumpkin. Again, this is not for me, this is for Milan. So for his meals, so breakfast and dinner, he has some rice, some cooked chicken, and some cooked pumpkin. I've got my bananas, which I have with my muesli. And then for that pot pie that I was talking about, I've just got some mixed vegetables and a potato. And then lastly, I just picked up some of these coconut yogurt pouches. These actually go a long way. I use a little bit every day with my muesli, so that will last about 3 or 4 days, which is really great. I saw these in like the vegetarian and vegan section of the freezer. They're like meat-free sausages, and they're on special, they're on sale. So I just thought, I don't always buy a lot of this stuff just because some of it can be quite expensive. But this was only like $3. It was on clearance, I think. So I think I'll give that a try. And some mushrooms. So for breakfast today, I'm going to make sort of like a vegan egg made out of chickpea flour and silken tofu. And I'll have that with mushrooms, the sourdough, some spinach. And I thought maybe I'd put like one of these sausages in the air fryer and have that as well. So sort of like a vegetarian or vegan big breakfast. Not gonna lie, it's not like the most aesthetically pleasing breakfast that I've ever made, but I sort of made like a tofu vegan egg scramble with mushrooms, spinach, and also have the meat-free sausage as well. So really looking forward to that. I feel like yeah, it took me a while to go to the gym, go to the grocery store, and then finally yeah, just tucking into some breakfast now. And then I'm going to clean the house, do like a deep clean of my office and my desk, just because it's been a while since I've like wiped everything down, decluttered. Also got to vacuum the sofa so that that's all nice and fresh, and then do some laundry as well. Cleaning the lounge and the kitchen, vacuum the floors, and now I'm going to do like a deep clean and tidy of my desk. So it does get quite dusty. There is a window here behind this curtain, and I just find like dust tends to settle around here, which can get a bit annoying. So I'm going to give it a good wipe down. And in terms of what cleaning products I like to use around the house, so there is Co, and I know this is really popular like on Instagram and stuff. I see a lot of influencers promoting it and stuff, and I thought I'd give it a go about a year ago. And honestly, like I personally think it works really well in the kitchen, especially on the stove top. I find it cuts through grease really well. But any other surface, it's like kind of average. And actually there were studies done on different spray and wipes and things like that, and this performed no better than I think elbow grease and water or something like that, just because the formula of it is, I think it's just like sodium and water or something like that. So but I do think that it cuts through grease really well. This is Accent Musk Disinfectant. You get this from Bunnings, and I just buy the refill and you just dilute it with water. It has this like, musky smell, and I kind of like it. It just makes you think, oh, like the place is really clean. So I like to use that on surfaces as well. The bottle itself isn't that aesthetic, but it's really good, and it's really good value as well. And then I just started using this Koala Eco Glass Cleaner, and I always thought that Windex was, you know, the best window cleaner or glass cleaner, but my friend recommended this Koala Eco one, and then I think, what website was it? Flora and Fauna had a sale, and I bought it then, and I have to say it is very good. It smells a bit like Listerine, like mouthwash, so I might use that on this acrylic piece here. So as I said earlier, I was in Melbourne last weekend. I flew out on the Friday night and then flew home on the Monday morning and just went straight to work. I really enjoyed it. It was my second time in Melbourne this month, and I used to think like it was just, I always thought that Melbourne was really cool, but I always thought that it was just like too cold. Like it literally is 4 seasons in one day, like every day, even in the summer, or you know, at the moment it's autumn. We had like really nice sunny days, but then also like it could, within an hour it was, you know, raining or cold or things like that. So I don't know, but it's just such a cool city, and maybe it's because I am just visiting, but yeah, I just always feel like it's very effortlessly cool, whereas I find in Sydney, you know, it's a little bit showier and people just go to certain cafes or certain restaurants because of what they see on Instagram, whereas I find with Melbourne, like, yeah, people go to certain places because they're genuinely good, and I just love, you know, the cafe culture and the coffee culture down there. It's a little bit different from Sydney, and it's also like, it sounds really, you know, basic, but like the coffee there is genuinely so good, and like the bare minimum, you know, the kind of baseline for any cafe in Melbourne, I find, is to have at least, you know, decent coffee, if not like really good and amazing coffee, whereas I find in Sydney it can be very hit or miss. Like it's not always good, and if you're like me and you don't always have coffee like every day, you know, when you do have coffee you want it to be like really good, so that you're not sort of wasting your, you know, your special treat of the week on like a really average coffee. So I just found in Melbourne, yeah, it's really good. And I went to the National Gallery of Victoria, which was free. Like I wanted to see the Chanel show, which I had unfortunately finished like a week earlier, but everything else was free, and I feel like I never take advantage of that sort of thing when I'm in Sydney, or like living in Sydney, because you know there's like galleries around Sydney as well. I just never go. But again, it's just like that exposure to, you know, culture and stuff makes you feel really artsy, and yeah, you just learn a lot. So I feel like I only ever do that sort of thing when I'm like on holiday, when really I should be making time for that sort of thing. Really, I should be making time for that sort of thing in my own city as well, and like stuff like that exists for the public and is funded, you know, by the local councils and by the government and stuff, so you might as well make the most of it. And I also went to the Van Gogh Alive show, which I went to see that like a couple of years ago when it was very like new, and they had it in Sydney. And I don't know why I thought it would be better in Melbourne. I think just from the photos, it looked bigger. The Melbourne one looked bigger, which for some reason in my mind, I thought would mean that it would be better, just because I was kind of like, I mean, it was cool when I saw it in Sydney a couple of years ago, but I mean, I was kind of like, disappointed then, and then disappointed again by the Melbourne one. And the Melbourne one was like even more expensive. It was like $50, and it was exactly the same as the Sydney one. I don't know why I thought it would be different. And the sunflower room, which on social media looks massive, looks like this giant room full of sunflowers, but in actual fact it's like 5 meters by 5 meters, and then of course, you know, there's mirrors around the room, so that's kind of how they make it look big. And I guess in a way you don't need it to be big because there's the mirrors and it's just the illusion of heaps of sunflowers. And I was just like, are you kidding me? And then if there's like a lot of people in this room, then it's really squishy and you're trying to get a photo and stuff. But again, I was just like, oh, this is so like yet another thing that looks amazing on social media, but in reality is like kind of average. But as I said, it doesn't need to be big, the sunflower room, because there's mirrors which creates the illusion of it being big. But I don't know, I just think like it was quite an expensive like experience for something that now has been kind of a bit diluted. Like it's just really, you know, it's not even the actual paintings of Van Gogh, it's, you know, projections of these paintings. So yeah, I mean, if you haven't been to it before, I would definitely still recommend going just for the experience. But for me, like I had already been to the Sydney one, so there's kind of no reason for me to go to the Melbourne one, except that I thought, you know, it'd be a cool thing to do while I was down there, and I thought maybe it would be larger and a slightly different experience, but it really wasn't. And then other than that, I didn't really vlog it because I was mainly traveling by myself, and it just like the content that I was like filming just wasn't that interesting when you're by yourself, and I didn't feel comfortable like talking into the camera while I was out and about. So a lot of it was like me just talking to the camera in the in my hotel room, and then like just montages of like me at cafes and like at the museums and stuff. It just wasn't like very interesting content. It just wasn't very like interesting content at all. But yeah, that was basically my Melbourne trip, and did have a lot of good food as well. Went to this beautiful Italian place on the Saturday night. Oh, chef's kiss. Otherwise had really good ramen. Yeah, just had a look around the shops and stuff, because there is a few shops that are different from what you can get in Sydney as well. And I think like the CBD in Melbourne is still, or it is thriving again, whereas like the CBD in Sydney is like really quiet. There's no real reason for people to go into the CBD in Sydney, and it's a bit dead now. But yeah, I really enjoyed my time in Melbourne. It was a little bit cold, but that's okay. And yeah, I definitely wish I could afford to just, yeah, do little getaways, because I didn't even take any time off work. It was just Friday night to Monday morning. And yeah, it just felt like I was doing something spontaneous, and yeah, really enjoyed it. So hopefully I can do that a couple more times this year, and of course go to other places as well. Like there's so many places in Australia that I haven't even been to. So yeah, so just cleaned the desk. Looks really good. Smells really nice, like that disinfectant smell. Now I just need to make my bed, tidy my bedroom, and then have a shower. Taking a break to have some lunch. So I made a big batch of creamy vegetable soup, vegan creamy vegetable soup, before I went to Melbourne, and I froze 2 portions. And I'm going to have it today and tomorrow with the side of that sourdough that I was telling you about earlier. Super delicious, super easy and cheap to make as well. And just as like a, I guess, savings tip or budgeting tip, is that I like to plan out my meals, but also I'll make like an extra meal that can freeze really well. So in this case soup, but also things like a bolognese sauce, and I'll make like 3 or 4 portions and then freeze them. And then throughout the month, like if I'm having, you know, a really busy day, or it gets to the end of the month, when I'm sort of running low on groceries, running low on stuff in the fridge or the freezer, I will just bring them out and defrost them, and then if it's like a bolognese sauce, then I just make fresh pasta on the side and then heat up the sauce and have it with that. So I do this with things like, yeah, pasta, you can do curry, chili con carne, just things that freeze really well. Things like that, and yeah, it's a good cost saving, and it just means that, you know, even if you're having a really busy day or you've just run out of food in the house and things, you don't get tempted to get Uber Eats or get takeaways, just because, yeah, we're trying to save money, trying to be economical, and very frugal with the way that we spend our money this year. If you haven't seen my budgeting video, I will link it. So yeah, just having a break now. I'm pretty tired just because I woke up. I did have a little bit of a sleep in, but just going to the gym, had quite a tough workout. Just been doing a lot of housework and things around the house. So yeah, having a break now. I've just got a bit of life admin that I want to do after lunch. And then I'm probably going to have a little nap, maybe like an hour long, 2 hour long nap, which I love on the weekend. I'm just such a fan of naps. And maybe just watch some TV, take Milan out for a walk in the afternoon, and then just have a very chilled evening. So I'm trying to get as much, I guess, work done today, just so that tomorrow can really be like a self-care Sunday, and I can just enjoy the day, take my time, do all the I guess more chill things. So just trying to get all the like the hard stuff out of the way today. So yeah. Nap, and then took Milan out for a walk. Such a beautiful day. It's definitely cooling down in Sydney. It's getting a little bit colder in the mornings and in the evenings, but yeah, the sun was really, really beautiful. And now I just put something in the oven. It's Mother's Day tomorrow. My mum lives in New Zealand, so obviously can't celebrate with her, but it's my sister's first Mother's Day. She just had my niece last year, so this is her first Mother's Day. And she also got sick with COVID, so wanted to make a little like raspberry jam slice for her, and I'll drop that off. Also bought her like a little flower, just because yeah, just want to make her feel special on her first Mother's Day, and also she's sick, so that can't be great. So yeah, for dinner I'm going to make this like creamy sun-dried tomato pasta dish, and I found this recipe on Pinterest. I think it was a TikTok actually, but it was reposted on Pinterest, and it's probably my favorite dish. I make it at least like once or twice a month. It's just so delicious. It's actually vegan, but it's like my favorite dish to make for others as well, just because, yeah, it's one of those just like quite like comfort food, really rich and creamy, and yeah, I just feel like it's something that you wouldn't necessarily know is vegan, just because some people can be a bit weird about, you know, if you tell them something's vegan, they kind of turn their noses up at it, which is a bit unfair, I feel, in this day and age. But so what we're going to do is put some of the oil, which is like super tasty, from the sun-dried tomatoes jar in a pan, or I've got like this like wok thing, and just heat that sort of medium to low heat, and then once that's heated up, put some sliced onion in there. And I don't usually put mushrooms in it, but I just thought it would taste even better tonight if I was to put mushrooms in, so just putting some cut mushrooms in there. And once the onions become translucent, you can put some minced garlic in there as well. Then you want to put in I just do a dash of red chili flakes. If you can handle a little bit of spice, it really makes it even more tasty. And then just like a good dash of mixed dried herbs. Then I put about a cup and a half of vegetable stock, and then a can of coconut milk, and that's what will make it creamy. And then you want to add some chopped sun-dried tomatoes. And then if you were making this like serving, you know, your family, or like if you're having it with someone else, you would then add like your rigatoni into this mixture and then let the sauce like cook the pasta. And then of course the pasta releases, you know, that starch and kind of adds and thickens the sauce as well. But since it's just me, what I do, because I don't want to like make the pasta soggy by cooking it all tonight, because I'll eat the second portion for dinner tomorrow. So what I do is transfer half of the mixture into a smaller pot. And then add my pasta to this one. And then just let that come to a boil and then simmer until the pasta is al dente. So I'm just going to leave that there. So it's starting to slowly thicken, and you just want to season it with salt and pepper to your taste. And this is optional, but if you have it, the nutritional yeast as well gives it that creamy, cheesy taste as well. Oh yeah, I'm so excited to eat this. Oh, that pasta was so good! Oh yes, it was so good. Yes, it was so good. The mushrooms made it like 10 times better. Like so good. Oh yes, oh yes, 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 yes. It's pretty early, but I think I'm going to just put Netflix on, watch some Friends, maybe watch a movie, and just chill out for the night. Definitely not going out. Actually, not really seeing anyone this weekend, which is kind of nice in that I do just want to recharge and chill out. So I think I'm going to end off tonight here, and yes, just relax. Do you want to relax? Should we relax? Yes, let's relax. Good morning and happy Sunday. Just had a very slow start to my morning. Actually slept until 9, which I very rarely do, but it was such a good feeling. I had breakfast, so just had the scrambled vegan eggs again. About to take Milan for a walk and also drop off some little treats for my sister. So it was a massive fail. I made this like really nice raspberry jam slice, but because I've just moved into a new house a couple of months ago, and the oven is a gas oven, and I've never had one of those before. I've always had like an electric oven, and they're really hard to get like the temperature right. And so like you bake the base, then you put the jam on, and then you put the topping on, and I wanted the topping to be nice and golden, so I kept it in the oven like for another 10-15 minutes. But what I didn't realize is that the base was also like baking further, so the base of it is like completely burnt, like inedible. So I was like, oh fuck, like I'm gonna have to make something else, but it was too late and I didn't have enough ingredients to make the slice again. So luckily I was just able to make some cookies for my sister, and then I've got like a little jar of lollies and then a little flour as well. So I hope she likes that and hope that makes her feel a little bit better, celebrating her first Mother's Day with COVID. So might just go grab a coffee, because I know I'm trying to like cut back on buying coffee, but it's just really hard because it just tastes so good. Like I'm just really craving it lately, so I'm kind of just trying to limit it to 2 or 3 times a week, but it's just not the best because obviously I'm trying to save money. But yeah, but what I have discovered is that in my shopping village near me, on one side of the road there's a cafe, and a soy flat white is like $4.10, which I think is pretty reasonable / cheap. And then a new cafe opened up across the road, and for a small soy flat white it's $4.90, which I think is like pretty expensive for a regular, like for a small coffee. So I try and avoid that one, but actually the more expensive one tastes a little bit better. Like I prefer it a little bit better, but just for the cost, I suppose. I know it's only a small difference, but $4.90 for a coffee just seems like a lot. So definitely trying to cut back on going to the nicer one, but the cheaper one is just like is as not as nice, but it's still a really good coffee, so it's okay. So I've had a pretty relaxing day so far. Dropped off the little Mother's Day treats for my sister, then took her dog Pixel and my dog Milan for a little walk, just to help them out a little bit, just because they obviously are isolating, which is really hard. So yeah, took them for a little walk, came home and had lunch, so just had that creamy vegetable soup again, and yeah, just chilling really. Just had some more laundry to do. But I thought I would start reading a new book. So I have a Kindle Paperwhite. I bought this a couple of years ago, and I have like a case as well that I bought from Amazon. I really like it. Obviously I miss the feel of like an actual book, but I find that having a Kindle is super handy because as soon as you finish a book, you can just like purchase another one and download it straight away. And the other really cool thing that I like about it is, like, sometimes when I go out to eat by myself and I want something to read, I can put this on the table and it's really easy to read, whereas I find if you have an actual book, it can be kind of difficult to like keep it open and you've got to flip the pages, and it's also really small and lightweight, and it's really easy and great to travel with as well. So definitely recommend if you are considering or have been considering getting a Kindle. I really enjoy my one. So I have been getting into reading novels again, which I think is really great. Like, it just kind of gives you something to do and like calms the mind and stuff, rather than just scrolling through social media all the time. I like to read before bed, and it really like calms me down and gets me you know, relaxed and ready to go to sleep. And I have been reading a lot of like, I guess, self-help books and finance books and stuff like that, which are really interesting, but not exactly like something that I look forward to reading, whereas I find just like kind of fluffy novels, you know, it's kind of just relaxing and enjoyable to read, and I think like sometimes that's kind of more important than necessarily like the content that you're reading, in a sense that anything that gets you reading, I think, is a good thing, and even if you're not necessarily like learning something like all the time, it doesn't mean that it's not worth, you know, reading. So I started with The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I know is a really popular book. I think people talk about it like on social media a lot, like on TikTok and Pinterest and YouTube and stuff. I thought it was kind of like any other chick lit, like rom-com book, up until about halfway, and then it sort of like twisted and changed a little bit, and I was like, oh damn, like it's not your average chick lit. So I actually ended up really enjoying it in the end. And then after that I read Swear on This Life, which I really liked. I thought that one was really like just captured me really quickly, and like the way that it was written was really clever as well. It was like a novel within a novel, which was really cleverly done, I felt. And then the third book, because they're quite easy to read, so I get through them quite easily. Like I'll read them within a week or two, like especially if they're quite engaging. The third book that I have read was It Ends With Us. And again, that was really quite engaging as well from the outset. So I really enjoyed that too. And I read that within a week. Like that was like a binge read. I read that a lot on my trip to Melbourne as well when I had some downtime. And so that one was by Colleen Hoover. And I really like her style of writing, I guess. It's just, yeah, very easy to read. So I was just looking at a list of her other books, and I just downloaded the latest one, which is, what is this one called? Ugly Love. So I'll get into that one next. And my sister and I kind of started our own little mini book club, and that we're just like been reading the same book, so we have something to talk about or someone to talk to about the books that we're reading. So can't wait to catch up with her when she's out of isolation, and then just give her my thoughts on these books as well. So if you have any good recommendations for chick lit books, like similar to the ones that I just mentioned, that you think I might enjoy, or we will enjoy, please comment below. Alana and I just got back from the dog park. It was our old dog park, so the suburb that we used to live in. And that suburb was a lot more dog friendly, so we had a lot of like doggy friends. And you got to see his doggy bestie, Daisy, and had a really good play, so he's looking very scruffy, very scruffy. I just made a vegan veggie pot pie for lunches this week, so that's in the oven at the moment cooking, and then I thought I'd just do some prep and stuff for the week ahead. So I guess as part of, you know, the weekend reset that I did this weekend, it's really just like feeling more like I have a better overview of like my plans, and just feeling a bit more organized and a bit more mindful of the way that I'm spending my time, the way that I'm spending my money, and things like that. I think is really important to me, just to feel like I'm kind of just like managing my time and stuff the best that I can. And as I said before, you know, obviously there are times when, you know, you kind of go off script and do different things and fun things like that. But I think now, you know, just work wise, like I'm very busy for the next month or so, getting ready for my trip to New Zealand in about a month's time. So I just want to be very focused and sort of on track with my goals and stuff. And I feel like, yes, those kind of fun weekends are really great, but they kind of can be a little bit, I guess, take you off your path of like your long-term goals and stuff like that, because obviously being a bit more I guess indulgent in things, like you end up spending a bit more money than you had planned, which makes it really hard to stay on track for like the goals and the budget that you have for the whole year. So I think just taking a bit of time to think about like what is coming up in the next week or so, and planning for that as well. So the first thing that I need to do is my meal planning. So I get paid monthly, and so what I do, and because I live by myself and I cook only for myself, which can be quite difficult, I eat the same thing for lunch Monday to Thursday, and then I eat the same thing for dinner Monday to Thursday. And then Friday and the weekend, I either, you know, I'll catch up with people, or I'll just make something a bit different on the weekends. But it works for me, and I love all the food that I eat, so I never really get bored of it. I know some people are like, what about the variety? But that doesn't bother me too much, because I just love what I eat. I love the food that I eat. So for me, I just never get bored of what I eat. So what I do is I plan out like my meals that I will eat on those weekdays, and then also like meal ideas for the weekends as well. And then what I'll do is each month when I get paid, I'll do like a big Woolies delivery shop, where I buy all of the stuff that are like non-perishables, like things like rice, oats, tinned tomatoes, beans, things like that don't go off and that you can store. So for example, if I know that I'm going to have oats, or muesli for breakfast every day, then you know, I can stock up on muesli, I can stock up on almond milk, I can buy, you know, I'll stock up on like 4 or 5 cartons of almond milk. I eat a lot of rice and noodles and things, so I'll just stock up on those. And that is really great for budgeting as well, because then it's like all of the stuff that you know that you're going to eat throughout the month is, you know, you've bought it, you've paid for it. And then literally all I do during the weeks in between is just stock up on like the fresh fruit and vegetables. I might have you know, a few ingredients here and there that I need to buy, but generally I do one big shop at the start of the month, like, or when I get paid I should say, and then all the other weeks, you know, I spend less than $50 on groceries, because it's just like fruit and vegetables. and a few bits and pieces here and there. So I find that's the best way for me to budget for my cooking and for my meals for the month. And then in terms of like planning out next week, so I like to use a bullet journal. It's a little bit old school. I know some people like to use, you know, Google Calendars and things, but I personally like to just write everything down. So I've got a pretty full-on week outside of work as well. So tomorrow I've got to prepare some stuff for my Toastmasters meeting, which will be next Saturday, and I'll link a video to what Toastmasters is if you're curious, but it's basically my public speaking club. I have a friend's graduation drinks on Tuesday night, and then I have a friend visiting from Melbourne on Wednesday night, so I have a dinner with him and a group of friends. Thursday night, I've got a dinner with a girlfriend, and then Friday lunch, one of our work agencies is taking us out for lunch. So I've got a pretty jam-packed week, like socially. Like I would never, hardly ever go out like on a weeknight, or definitely not 3 nights in a row, so that's a lot for me socially. And then of course Saturday I've got my Toastmasters meeting, and then Sunday will really be the only day that I get to kind of catch up on everything and chill. So yeah, just looking ahead and planning my week is really important on a Sunday, just so that I can know what to expect during the week. And yeah, I think for someone who is very introverted, like 3 social things during the week is going to be a lot, but I think I'll just take the time on Friday night to just chill a bit. Saturday night I can chill, and then Sunday of course I'll kind of just do all my reset stuff then as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like it's nice to kind of be out and about, and definitely don't want to take for granted being able to see my friends and things. So I think and just saying yes, I guess, to everything and any opportunity to hang out and catch up, because yeah, it's just I guess making up for lost time from the last 2 years. So but getting back into that, I guess getting back to socializing has been quite difficult, or quite challenging in some ways. Sometimes I'm like, oh my god, I've forgotten how to like how to socialize. And I do find, like, if I go to parties and stuff, like I have a really good time, but I get to a point where I'm like, that's it, like I've got to go home, I've got to recharge. Feeling pretty good knowing that I've prepped and planned out for the month all that I want to cook as part of my meal prep, and then also kind of planned ahead for the week coming up as well. So it's almost 6 o'clock. I'm going to start cooking my dinner. So the second portion of the pasta that I had last night, which was so good. And then I'm just gonna watch the news, and then I'm gonna have a shower, do some skincare, and then I think the debate, the election debate is gonna be on tonight. It's quite late, 8:45, but I think I'll stay up and watch a little bit of that as well. So just had a shower and got into my PJs, settling in for the evening, I think. Put on a sheet mask. My favorite ones are the Dr. Jart ones. They're really, really good. And I'm just gonna do a quick manicure and pedicure. For my toenails, I like to use this red. It's called Big Apple Red. And then for my fingernails, I'm going to use Bubble Bath, which is a really classic OPI pink shade, I think. It just goes really well with everything, and I find that even if it chips throughout the week, you don't really notice it so much, so you don't have to like, you know, do your nails again during the week. And yeah, so I think I'm going to watch Friends for a little bit, and then, as I said before, the political debate doesn't start until 8:45. I don't know why it is on this late. Like, seriously, people need to go to sleep. But I will stay up and watch a little bit anyway. Probably go to bed around 9:30. I wake up around 5:30 to 6 during the week just to go to the gym, so I do have to sleep quite early. Thank you so much for keeping me company this weekend. As I said, it was a bit of a reset and a bit of getting back into routine kind of weekend. I'm actually looking forward to going to work tomorrow just because I do feel refreshed for the first time in a long time. So I think this weekend was very much needed. Obviously, it's always far too short, but yeah, I'm feeling good. I feel like I really did spend the time to recharge the batteries, and I'm looking forward to going to the gym tomorrow and then getting stuck into work and then all of the social stuff as well. So please like this video if you made it all the way through, and also subscribe for more productivity content. I also post about things like introversion and public speaking and all that good stuff. So make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.